Hello, everybody. My name is Christian. I'm the host of the Disruptive Chef Entrepreneur Show, and you guys gonna love today's guest. Not only we have been friends for a very, very long time. He also wears a white coat, but there's something very special about him, and you guys gonna meet him right after this. Hello again, my name is Christian. I'm the host of the Disruptive Chef Entrepreneur Show, and I'm really excited for today's guest. So because he was part of my group of chefs, I recommended to the group, and as we did our ethical stocking, we really need a better name. But there was a few things which were really, really clear. Number one is his passion about the industry, the way he looks at helping other people in the industry. He has really an uncanny ability to connect with people, and it doesn't matter if they are on the bottom of the list or on the top of the list, he connects with them equally. And not only that, so for me, over the last 3 decades, he has been really championing ingredients and ingredient excellence. So for me, there's no better person to embody what we have written on here than our guest today, Chef Warren Katz. How are you? And welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Chef. I'm so glad to be here. Yeah, we've been friends for a long time. It's been a while.
So don't put a year to it because it makes us both sound old. So now we're you 20 plus. Can you tell us how did this whole thing start? How did you wind up in food service?
You know, I was born into it. I really have done nothing else. I've been very fortunate. I started at 14 as a dishwasher, probably like every other chef in the industry. I rode my bike to work. I just wanted to work. And I worked at a country club, started out washing dishes, showed a talent for cooking. The chef took me under his wing, and I just never did anything else. Put on a chef coat and never took it off.
I love that. So for our audience, can you tell us a little bit where you're calling in from? What is home for you? All the good stuff.
So I'm in Westchester, Pennsylvania. It's a suburb of Philadelphia. Been here about 12 years now. I grew up in Connecticut. I worked my way around the restaurant industry from Connecticut to New York, culinary school in upstate New York, and landed here in Pennsylvania.
Awesome. Chef, if people follow you and our listeners kind of diving in a little bit deeper who Chef Katz is, there's one thing they hear you say all the time. You take a very strong stand on menuing on the menu cheese, for an example, and you said you can't just call it cheese. You need to give it excitement and you need to be really specific. So can you talk to our listeners a little bit where the naming of ingredients kind of matters, and how did this start and how did this become part of who you are?
So I won't name dates, but you're right. Early in my career, I discovered a passion for cheese. I started teaching about cheeses in New York City a long time ago, and it was a dream of mine to teach about cheeses on a national scale. I came to work for a manufacturer, and I was able to do exactly what I dreamed of doing. I've been traveling all around the country, teaching chefs all around the country how to put specialty cheese on their menu, how to utilize it as an ingredient, as well as introducing the cheese course. Which was, when we started doing cheese trainings, cheese courses weren't a thing on menus, but they are today. And one thing I noticed very early on was people would always just list cheese nondescriptly. They would say chicken quesadilla with cheese or something along those lines, or a cheeseburger, just cheese. And, every other ingredient got attention, the type of beef that you were using, where it came from, got attention. All of the other types of meats, if they were heritage meats, got attention. If they're heritage vegetables, they got identified exactly where they were from. But cheese was just an afterthought. So I made it my mission some 25 years ago to really teach chefs and restaurateurs that the cheese type is important. If it's Monterey Jack, tell everyone it's Monterey Jack. If it's a cheddar, tell them where it's from, So that's something that I kind of brought to my trainings, and hopefully it's been impactful.
I absolutely love that. And if people to kind of dive into your background and your teachings out there, there's something you say all the time, and that is that you never imagined that you would work full time for a global cheese company. And for me, I find that fascinating because for me, if I think of great cheese, I think of you. So, what did this unexpected opportunity shape for you in your professional career, and how does it or did it open up doors for you to grow?
You're absolutely right. I never expected to be working for the world's ninth largest food company. We are number nine. We just
It's
just
amazing.
stepped up from number 10 last year. Largest food company in the world. We're the largest dairy company in the world, the number one largest dairy company. And I get to tell people I'm the corporate chef for the largest dairy company in the world. That sounds really cool. And I never imagined doing that. I was teaching about cheeses from my little restaurant in Lower Manhattan, right below Canal Street in Chinatown. And I started a little restaurant there and started putting cheeses on the menu. And because it was a passion of mine, I made mozzarella from curd because I saw it done at Joe's Dairy and I thought, oh, I can do that. So I put it on the menu, fresh made mozzarella, right there in the dining room. And I started teaching about how to make cheese at a little cooking school. It was called Peter Kump's New York Cooking School. Now it's called the Institute for Culinary Education, and it's a bi-coastal, huge institute. But when I started teaching about cheeses, there were just a few of us out there doing it. There was one cheese book on the shelves. Now there's dozens. And it was just a passion. I really liked cheese. But moreover, I thought to myself as a career, if I was to go into manufacturing, who would be unhappy to see me, right? If I'm bringing samples of cheese, who's going to say no to that? Everybody loves cheese. So I thought it was a good career move to get into the cheese world. And that's exactly what I did.
I love that. That's actually really funny. And there's something which for me, you known as for cheese, but for me, I think there's something you even more known for in the industry, and that's around how leadership skills have evolved and how they evolved your career. And I remember you telling the story that you believe that prioritizing ingredients on the menu could be a making or breaking point. And if you kind of lose that edge and start costing or cutting cost and cutting quality, that is the downfall of most of the restaurants. Where did that belief come from? And do you see it a lot out there in the marketplace?
I absolutely see it. And look what's happening to the industry today, right?
Yeah.
Over the last 5 years, we've seen a shrinking of the restaurant industry that we've never seen before, right? Of course, COVID had a lot to do with that, but over expansion had a lot to do with that, right?
Yeah.
Um, you know, Poor quality ingredients has really played a big part of that.
Yeah.
Diners today are more sophisticated than I ever was at a young age. So they're when and limited dollars. Every generation, the young people have limited dollars to spend, and they're gonna make choices on what they want to eat based upon some real crucial facts. Good quality ingredients are one of them, and good quality service. And look at all the closures of all of the
Yeah.
restaurants in the past year, right? All of the Chapter 11 closures, all of those different closures, and it all comes down to two things: really lowering the cost of ingredients down to the absolute bare minimum, right? And then not having good quality service. Those two things are killers for restaurant brands, and we're seeing it happen every single day.
I, for me, I absolutely love that. And it's so true because you really became a catalyst for quality ingredients on the menu. And you've been focusing on quality ingredients. You focused on high quality ingredients. So, can you give me an example or an advice you would give to any chef or entrepreneurs which are looking for strengthening not just their brand, but who they are in the marketplace?
Yeah, that's a tough one, right? Chefs, you got to listen to your chefs.
Yeah.
We became chefs for a reason, right? We love food. We love feeding people. We love nourishing people. We didn't do it just to work on a factory line. Otherwise, we would have gone into factory work, right? So if you're not listening to your chefs, then you're out of touch with the consumer as well, because the chefs are tied so closely to the consumer's wants and needs. And
Yeah.
far too often, um, restaurant groups or restaurant owners don't listen to what the chef says and don't put those quality ingredients on the menu. You got to lower your food cost. You got to get below this percentage points, and lose sight of the fact that you're going to lose customers by doing so. And so a couple of percentage points of savings could actually change your entire revenue stream for the restaurant. And so when you do that, you tend to risk a lot.
Yeah, I know you talk about a lot about that. That restaurant owners facing, the really tough financial choices. So, how do you recommend balancing the pressure of cost, the pressure of running a business, and for them to really maintain a top tier ingredient quality facility?
Cost of goods is very important, right? We
Hmm.
can't deny that. You have to build your recipe based on really strong cost of goods, good
Yep.
cost of good analysis. You have to build your recipe on that analysis, but you also have to control costs. You can't just control the recipe costs. You have to control the costs in the back door. You have to
Yeah.
control what's going out the back door. You have to control what's going to the dining room, what's getting wasted, how many refires are you having to perform? How much waste is there at the end of a shift? You have to control all of those other factors as well as controlling the individual recipe costs. You have to train your front of house staff which are the most profitable items on the menu and sell
Yeah.
the daylights out of those profitable ones, right? You can still have high premium ingredients. They may not be the most profitable dishes on the menu, but then you have to train your staff. Okay, if this one is not the most profitable, then accompany it with a more profitable appetizer or a more profitable dessert or a drink or a specialty, something along those lines. So you have a nice, good balance of
Yeah,
profitability.
I love that. I mean, you talk about training and bringing your staff along for a very long time. So let's give our listeners or our chefs a little bit of look behind the scenes. So, what do you think are 2 or 3 things? If you do this, people will perceive you differently in the marketplace.
Absolutely. The family meeting, right? Remember the family meetings at
I love
at
the
four
family
thirty
meeting.
or 5 o'clock every night before your shift starts. But we lost sight of that, as an industry.
Yeah,
It's difficult, right? We have transient employees who sometimes don't care. You have to really hire correctly. You have to really seek out the best employees, and you have to nurture them. You have to give them something to care about. You have to give them
yeah,
something more than just a paycheck, right? You have to show them that you can create an entire career out of working in the restaurant business. You're not going to stay a dishwasher forever. You're
yeah.
going to move up. Take a look at my career. You're going to be traveling around the globe working for a cheese manufacturer someday. And you're starting right here. And with the right attitude, you'll get there. You've got to work from that way, that perspective.
I love that. That's some really good advice. But now my question is, what advice do you have for a chef who is starting up or a restaurateur who is starting up and not just starting up, they just have finally some growth in their career. So what do you feel is should they be more passionate about ingredients? Should they be more passionate about employee training? Or what else do you recommend for those businesses to stand out?
I mean, it's hard, right? It's a grind. The
Yeah.
restaurant industry is a grind, and it's the hardest job that you'll ever love. It really is. I mean, I still have I still getting scars every day, from working in the ovens and
Oh,
working
that's awesome.
hard. What I would tell a young person coming into this industry is, there are other ways to make money and a lot easier ways to make money, but none as satisfying as feeding people and seeing the smiles on their faces when they left your restaurant satisfied, when they've come in for a family event and they're celebrating grandma's birthday or an anniversary or they're getting married. All of this happens over the dinner table.
Yeah.
Every one of life's most important events happens right there at the dinner table. And as as chefs and culinarians, we have to keep in mind we're touching people at a very intimate level every single time we put food on the plate. And
I
if
love
we can
that.
remember that it's hard to remember when we're in that grind, right? We're grinding out 200 covers a night. Half of them are to go. We don't even get to see that customer, but we have to remember that that food is nourishing somebody, and we really need to take care of that.
I absolutely love that, and it's so true. And sometimes we forget about that.
Yeah.
And so for me, I think that's some really good advice, and that's really good advice if you're even outside the industry. If you take food service away or being a chef away, and just use that, some really really good advice. And by the way, I can talk to you forever, but I want to now make sure that people get to know you. And one of the questions we like to ask. So, can you tell our audience what is Chef Warren Katz focusing on, Chef Warren, and what is Chef Warren focusing on the business side? So, talk to us a little bit. What is your focus for you for the rest of the year, and what are you focusing on for your business?
That's a great question. It changes all the time. As a chef, really, you never stop learning.
Mm,
Just ingredients alone. There's so many more ingredients, on today's menus. So many new, interesting ingredients from all around the globe. So just keeping an open mind, learning. That's what I'm focused on right now. I've been in cheese now for 25 years. As you know, as I said, I'm a cheese professional, but there's still so much for me to learn. I work for Galbani Cheese, which is the number one brand of Italian cheeses. We're known for our mozzarella. We're known for our work within the pizzeria segment. And that is a segment that I never spent any time in my restaurant upbringing. I didn't. I spent a little bit of time working in pizzerias, but not like the pizza guys of today, right? So for right now, my goal right now is
mm,
learning every single pizza type, all of the different uses of all the different types of ovens. You can see in the background in my kitchen here, we just developed our new test kitchen up in Buffalo, New York. We've got 3 different ovens to be able to make dozens of
awesome.
different pizza styles. So right now I'm working on perfecting my pizza making ability, and I can toss dough now, which is something brand new for me.
I
So
love
I'm constantly seeking to expand my knowledge. That's
Um, Listen, that's something I always admired about you. It doesn't matter what and when I talk to you, you're always talking about, hey, I just learned this, I just did this. And for me, I honestly believe that's your key to success. You look at things differently than so many other chefs. And for me, that's absolutely amazing. And I want to thank you for your years of friendship and community. Really, that's what you're building here. It's absolutely amazing.
Well, yeah, and thank you. I've been following you on social media forever. We've known each other for a long time, and I'm always learning something from you. All the content that you're putting out there, you're putting out a lot of great content. It's very
I,
educational too.
I appreciate it. And so the idea is we creating conversation. But before you go, we want to ask you something. Are you up for playing a rapid fire question food service edition?
Let's play. Let's go.
So before we start that, can you tell our audience a little bit, where can they learn more about you? Where can they find out about the cheese you're working with? So give us a little bit of behind the scenes, how people can get a hold of you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm very easy to get a hold of. If you look on my any of my social media platforms, it's particularly LinkedIn where I'm most active. All my contact information is on there. It's an open book. My cell phone number is on there. I don't keep it secret.
Yep.
This is my test kitchen. You can see in the background. That's up here in Buffalo, New York, at our largest ricotta manufacturing facility in the world. Right across the street, we have our brand new test kitchen, Culinary and Sensory Institute. This is where we're going to be doing a lot of recipe development, pizza development, but we also have a full sensory institute. So we do blind tastings. We invite the public to come in and do an A/B testing of all of our different cheeses and help us during our product development. So we have a lot going on in this building up
Love
here.
it.
So that's the easiest way to get a hold of me.
I,
Galbani Cheese or lactalisculinary.com. These are our websites where you can find me as well.
Awesome. And then also below on the show notes, you can find all of the information you need to get to Chef Warren. And then also, but if you need to know anything about cheese, I encourage you to reach out, because there's one thing he's even better than cheese is getting back to people. So he's really amazing with that. So with that, Chef, I absolutely amazing. Thanks for being here today, and thanks for sharing so freely with you. So with that, are you up for playing rapid fire question, food service edition?
Let's play.
So our audience knows. So it's really simple. I ask you for a number between 1 and 25. You give me a number. I read out the question and you answer yes or no and why. And I ask my team to make it really hard for you, because I know how well versed you are. So with that, give me a number between 1 and 25.
Let's start with my favorite number, 5.
5. Oh, did you know that? Should cheese be added to desserts more often? Yes or no, and why?
I didn't know. That's great.
That
I
is
mean,
awesome.
there's a place on every part of the menu for cheese. That's one thing that I've been teaching about since I got into the cheese business. It doesn't have to just be a cheese course. You can incorporate cheeses into appetizers, entrees, and desserts. I've made a wonderful cheesecake out of Swiss cheese and grapes. I wrote a recipe for a magazine a few years ago, and believe it or not, it really worked very well.
That is awesome. These are brand new questions. I literally just printed it out as we jumped on here. I don't know. Somebody's giving you some insight. I'm just saying. It seems a little bit suspicious. Okay. Give me a number between 1 and 25.
Let's go 15.
15. Should brunch be served 24/7? No questions asked. Yes or no, and why?
Oh, I mean, that's a good one. I'm a big fan of brunch, especially on the weekends. When my wife and I get to go to a restaurant every now and then. I do enjoy brunch, but I would have to say no. I don't think it's got a place on the menu all day long. I like a good dinner, and I
I mean,
think
yeah.
a more refined meal for dinner is more to my taste.
Awesome. Couldn't agree with you more. Give me a number between 1 and 25.
25.
25. Should chefs start offering breakup meals on the menu, designed to make their guests cry or laugh, or maybe both at the same time? Yes or no, and why?
I mean, I guess if the chefs have designed the engagement meals, and all those special things that go into that, I mean, I guess there could be a novelty for it. I would hate to be that restaurant that is well known to be the breakup spot.
I'm with
Um,
you. I'm not going. I'm not going. I'm just all I'm saying. I'm not going.
can you just imagine? Hey, honey, where are we going tonight? Oh, we're going to Warren's place. Oh no. I've heard of that place. I don't want to go.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, give me a number between 1 and 25.
It sounds like a Seinfeld episode, is what it sounds like. Let's go 10.
10. Oh, should chefs serve all the food with a surprised ingredient just to have fun? Yes or no, and why?
Did you say old food or all the food?
All of their food.
All the food with a surprise ingredient. Well, I mean, no, nothing should be a surprise, right? We gotta have truth in menus.
I,
There's no surprises.
I,
But
I, I,
I
I
do
love
like
that
the
question.
idea of creating suspense or creating surprise by having all of the different textures, all of the different colors represented, all of the different
Yeah.
temperatures. So would I put something frozen on something hot? Absolutely. Would I put something hot on something frozen? Something to
Um,
create that kind of conversation. That much
I,
I would do.
I love that. And what a great question for Mr. Drew to our menu. And so that was awesome. Okay, final question. Give me a number between 1 and 25.
Number one.
Number 1. Oh, oh my God. Uh, if chefs would have the opportunity to make anything taste better, including ice cream, should they use bacon? Yes or no? And why?
I mean, come on, bacon. I mean, if there was another category of food I would ever get involved in, pork products would be top of the list, 100%. Bacon makes everything better. It really does. I mean, bacon, cheese, it's a toss-up. I would put it on everything.
I can't disagree with that. Thank you for playing rapid fire question food service edition. That was absolutely awesome. So, Chef, I really appreciate you being here. Thanks for the gift of your time. You've been an amazing friend. You've been an amazing catalyst for cheese and menuing and training out there in the marketplace. So before we let you go, one last question. What was the best advice you gotten, which has nothing to do with being a chef?
Well, I think it applies across all career paths, every job. And it was very obvious in the restaurant industry. Keep your head down and do the work.
Yeah. Love
that's
it.
Just
so good. So good.
Do the work.
Chef, I really appreciate. Thanks for being here today. We need to do another episode about cheese. So if you ever have the opportunity, let us know. We would love to.
We'll do a little wine and cheese tasting.
And so now for our listeners, if you haven't done so, make sure you write below on the comments, hey, what did you absolutely connect with the conversation with Chef Warren? And what do you feel you want to learn about cheese? And then we're going to share this with him. So, but there's
one. I want to hear what your favorite cheese is too.
Yes, love that.
What's yours, Chef? What's your favorite cheese?
For me, I love anything aged. So if I'm over the years, I became a fan of Gouda. Aged Gouda is just so good. Oh.
There are some really good 3 and 5-year-old aged Goudas out there. Fantastic products. Old Amsterdam is one of them. Great product.
Yeah, it's you know what? It doesn't break the bank, and it's a product which goes with everything. And we use a ton of that. So I absolutely love that. So I also have here, I said to Chef, I didn't tell him earlier. One of our team members did a little stocking, as our audience knows. And actually, let me read what she wrote about you. So she said here, Chef Warren turned a lifelong passion for great ingredients into a career. Especially, he loves cheese. It's not only cheese, but that spanned over 30 years, providing you with everything you need to know about cheese and everything which goes with it. The opportunity can be bigger than that, but the rewarding thing about him is who he is as a person. And I couldn't agree with you more. You've been absolutely amazing. And I appreciate you being here. So with that, I want to say thank you. And to our audience, if you haven't done so, make sure you like today's episode. Share it with somebody who needs to know more about cheese. And if they don't want to, send it to them anyway. Again, my name is Christian. I'm the host of the Disruptive Chef Entrepreneur Show. I'm signing off. Me and Chef Warren, we are out of here. So bon appetit, everybody. And go out there and stay disruptive. Thanks for being here today.
Bye-bye.